This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Maddie Jansen. Coronavirus is still on the move in Kern County and wreaking havoc on so many parts of our lives as it infects nearly 2,000 people a day in Kern County. This morning, Public Health announced another 2,033 cases. 314 people are in the hospital locally with the virus. That number's up 9 from yesterday. Meantime, 55 others are fighting for their lives in intensive care units. As demand for testing continues to grow, Kern Public Health is holding a COVID-19 testing and vaccination pop-up clinic at Heritage Park in East Bakersfield. It's happening today from 3 to 6 p.m. No appointments necessary. Pfizer and J&J vaccines will be available.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OBGYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
17 News is your local election headquarters. Bakersfield City Council last night held its second public hearing on the redrawing of its ward boundaries. After a decade that saw Bakersfield's population grow by 16%, the city's tasked with creating a new ward map that will last for the next 10 years. And at Wednesday's City Council meeting came the first draft. The most changes coming in wards 2 and 3. Each district should have about the same number of residents, but population isn't the only guideline. The new map must also meet Federal Voting Rights Act regulations, which seeks to ensure the voice of minorities at the ballot box is not diluted, something Lori Pasante from the Dolores Huerta Foundation says Bakersfield's proposed map doesn't do.
It splits our black community between 4 wards. We haven't had a black council member since 2010.
The city will hold 3 more public hearings on its map, and residents can also submit their own drafts using the community mapping tool online. We have more information on our website, kget.com. National news now, and a new NBC News poll shows low approval ratings for President Biden after his first year in office. Biden's overall job approval rating stands at 43% according to the data, while 54% disapprove. That's a 10-point drop in his approval rating over the first year in office. Biden's standing among key parts of the Democratic base has also eroded somewhat, with just 15% of Americans strongly approving of his job performance, compared to 43% who strongly disapprove. The poll was conducted by a bipartisan team of pollsters who contacted 1,000 adults between January 14th and 18th and has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.1 percentage points. And as President Biden defended his first year in office yesterday, one of his major priorities stalled, with voting rights legislation blocked in the Senate by all 52 Republicans and 2 Democrats, just hours after the president's one-year news conference where he cast his management of the pandemic as a work in progress.
I call it a job not yet finished. It will get better. We're moving toward a time when COVID-19 won't disrupt our daily lives.
The president insisting he's made enormous progress, touting job growth and trillions of dollars for COVID relief and infrastructure, while other priorities like his Build Back Better plan have stalled despite Democrats' control of Congress. But to save one of his signature proposals, the president says he'll scale back his social spending bill, conceding the child tax credit may be out, blaming Republicans for resistance. The 42nd annual Bakersfield Prayer Breakfast returned this morning. Hundreds of attendees filed into Mechanics Bank Convention Center as the event resumed its usual format after last year's changes due to the pandemic. Bob McEwen, former congressman and current executive director of the Council for National Policy, was the keynote speaker.
That the speakership might move from San Francisco to Bakersfield, and in doing that, it's good for the world to know what California is not just LA and San Francisco. It's people that love their country, love their neighbors, work diligently, go to work every day, and bless each other as they pull together. And that's what this prayer breakfast is about, to find ways in which we can minister to others in a loving American tradition.
This year's theme for the prayer breakfast was One Nation Under God. 2 parents are under arrest after their 1-year-old baby boy overdosed on the dangerous drug fentanyl. The Bakersfield Police Department says it happened Saturday afternoon on Kroll Way, just off Gosford Road in southwest Bakersfield. Police say when officers arrived, they found the boy not breathing and with blue skin. First responders resuscitated the boy with CPR, and he's currently at a local hospital. Although we don't know his condition, we're told he's stable. Investigators say the boy had been exposed to fentanyl and other illegal drugs. The parents, identified as 20-year-olds John Lawson and Gabriella Goldberg, were arrested. And a reminder, Bakersfield Recovery Services and local law enforcement are hosting a forum today to discuss the dangers and effects of fentanyl. You can watch it at 6:30 on the BRS and KGET Facebook pages. For more on the fentanyl crisis, including 17's Robert Price in-depth series Fentanyl, the Counterfeit Killer, visit our website kget.com/fentanyl. There you can watch stories from families who've lost loved ones to the drug and find resources to protect those you love. 17 Court Watch now. New details regarding a lawsuit against a woman who allegedly ran a red light, leading to a crash that killed a 13-year-old boy. The Bakersfield Police Department says 13-year-old Nicholas Peterson was wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, which conflicts with statements made in a lawsuit filed by the boy's biological father, who said the teen was not wearing a helmet while riding on the back of a motorcycle when he was struck by an SUV driven by Christina Moreno Gonzalez. The wrongful death suit also names Peterson's stepfather, John Deal, as a defendant. Deal was operating the motorcycle last January when it collided with the SUV at the corner of Coffee and Hageman Roads. Moreno Gonzalez is charged with vehicular manslaughter and gross negligence and reckless driving. A hearing is scheduled for Monday. A man and woman have been charged in connection with causing a disturbance at Studio Movie Grill in which a gun was drawn. Eduardo Reyes and Ramona Monica Reyes are each facing a felony charge stemming from Sunday's incident. Authorities say Reyes pulled a gun and pistol whipped a theater employee. The weapon was not fired. Both pleaded not guilty and are due back in court on January 28th. Meantime, a man charged with first-degree murder in the shooting of another man in East Bakersfield appeared in court today, or yesterday, I should say. 18-year-old Aiden Martinez did not enter a plea because his arraignment was postponed. He's being held without bail. Bakersfield police say Martinez is accused of killing Fernando Bustamante on January 9th in the area of Oregon and Miller Streets in East Bakersfield. Martinez due back in court January 26th. Well, making news around town, Golden Empire Transit is moving to a reduced service schedule starting next month due to a COVID-19 and staffing shortage. Officials say they'll continue to provide an essential service to the community and are taking extraordinary precautions to protect the health and safety of riders and employees while working tirelessly to maintain an essential service. The reduced service starts February 6th. For more information on the reduced service schedule, visit kget.com. And the Kern County Library has brought back a program that provides residents with speedy access to materials they might not otherwise be able to get through the library. To use zip books, Kern residents with a valid library card may make requests for titles not currently in the library's collection. Once approved by library staff, the materials are sent directly to residents' homes from Amazon and are returned to the library after reading, where they may be added to the collection. The Zip Books program will be available through the end of June. I also cannot speak highly enough of their Hoopla app. If you have a library card, you can sign up for that and listen to free audiobooks. It's pretty cool. Now to our 17 News follow-up file. The distemper outbreak in Kern County has caused shelters and rescue groups to euthanize infected dogs. And as the struggle to save those pets continue, dog lovers from across Kern are stepping up to help. Staff at the Bakersfield Animal Care Center say they're testing dogs in order to isolate infected ones, but they need more space. That's why they're waiving adoption fees for the rest of this month for dogs. Since we last spoke to the center, 20 big dogs have been adopted, while another 5 have been fostered out.
The good news is we are getting a lot of dogs out of the shelter into foster homes, into rescues. People are coming out to adopt. So that's really helping us start making space for these animals in our shelter, and that's something we really critically need at this time.
Unity Canine will be hosting a free drive-through and walk-up parvo and distemper vaccination event this Saturday. The event will be in front of the parking lot of F&M Fabrics on Niles Street.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.